already.
Hi, today is, what is it, May 10th, I believe? And we're doing interview number 2. And I have with me, all the way from Austin, Texas, Amber Suka. And we're going to talk about how she contracted hepatitis C and such today. So, first of all, Amber, she doesn't have the actual video part on there, but we'll be able to hear her. Amber, how did you get, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us how you got hepatitis C, or how you think you got it, and when you were diagnosed?
Sure, no problem. My name is Amber Suka. I'm 43. I live in Austin, Texas. In 1996, I did my normal testing. I always went for AIDS testing. I always wanted to know if I had AIDS because I had a blood transfusion before. And when the lady told me there was a new testing for HepC, if I wanted to try it, and I said, sure. I automatically assumed they tested for HepC when they tested for AIDS and HIV, but they didn't. She said it was something that was new. And when the test results came back, I tested positive. In 2000, I met up with Dr. Frazier, and we went back on my history, and we came up with, I was infected back in 1982 when I received a blood transfusion.
And
blood was tainted.
And how old were you then?
I was 13.
13 years old. And can you tell us why you needed a transfusion, Amber?
At 12, they diagnosed me with endometriosis, and to regulate my bleeding, they prescribed me birth control pills, which caused me to hemorrhage more and bleed out, and that was the cause for the transfusion.
Okay. And then they were able to ascertain. Now, I believe that they can, I've heard conflicting stories on whether they're able to ascertain by your blood how long you've had the disease. Yeah,
because when I met up with Dr. Frazier, and she was being really open with me because I had no idea about HepC. The doctor that diagnosed me told me I was going to die with it, and she walked out.
Yeah.
Offered me no literature, no information, nothing. It's just I'm going to die with it. When I met with Dr. Frazier, she wanted to know how far back, and then she said based on her findings through the blood work and through the biopsy, she said that I've been living with it for quite a long time. So she thinks it was from the blood transfusion.
Yeah.
She dismissed everything else, the alcohol, the ibuprofen, the whatever medicine that I was doing, and the other surgeries that I've had in my past.
Right.
But she believes it was the blood transfusion that gave it to me.
Because they can kind of ascertain by the damage done.
Yes.
Because it is a slow-moving disease, you guys. You know, anybody that does find out they have it, please don't freak out right away. It is a slow-moving disease. I had it over 20 years before I knew too. But you do want to get tested because the liver feels no pain. So that's why they call it the silent killer. And usually people are in end-stage liver disease before they get tested, right, Amber?
Yes. Yes. If you think about it, I was 13 when I was infected.
Yeah.
That's towards the beginning of my life. I still have my 20s to go through. And usually in your 20s, you party, you cause so much damage to your liver.
That's right.
If you don't know, you're not going to know what the symptoms are when you're starting to feel bad. Yeah. When you can't drink no more, you think, okay, maybe I'm an alcoholic. No, there's an underlying problem. Yeah. And it's the HepC. So people should get tested.
And did you find it too, it was your stomach that bothered you?
About 3 years ago, stupid me, I went back to drinking. Because I was thinking, I already tried treatment and I got pulled off because my white blood cells dropped. They couldn't figure out why that happened. And they kept telling me, well, maybe in 10 years, the medicine is going to be different. It's going to be better for you. And so, I thought, well, I'll continue partying. And I think I caused more damage to my liver than ever. it got to the point where if I took one sip of beer, and I'm not really a beer drinker, but if I take one sip of beer, I would be throwing up for 3 days.
Yeah.
I could not function. And so I had to stop.
Yeah.
I completely cold turkey just quit drinking.
Yeah.
Altogether. I mean, I can go to the bars, but just knowing how sick it made me, just smelling it, I just quit.
Yeah.
And I have to do something better for my liver than I was doing the past 30 years.
Absolutely, because the pills and the alcohol and everything hits your liver differently when your liver's not working properly. You know, by this time you'd already had the liver damage, and that's how I found out too. Is I couldn't hold my alcohol. I knew then there was a problem.
That's a huge sign for a lot of people.
And I've never been a big drinker. I've only drank socially, but when you have a glass of wine and you're sick to your stomach and you've never gotten sick before, there's a good sign. Joint aches, muscle aches, headaches, and of course the extreme fatigue. I don't think that I've met anyone with hepatitis C that doesn't have the fatigue.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, including my relationships, it interfered with our relationships.
Yeah.
Even with my family, a lot of people would think that I was lazy.
Yep.
I'm not lazy. I'm extremely tired. My body cannot move.
Yeah.
But I can't explain that to people that don't understand. So that's why it's good to have people like you know, getting it out, getting the word out, the awareness. You know, people need to know about these things.
Yeah. I've been thought to be lazy in the past as well, and I've never liked physical exercise or physical work, period, and I can admit that, where I couldn't when I was young, but I was never lazy. I've always worked my tail off in lots of other ways, but yeah, people do think that when people don't know what's wrong with you and you don't know what's wrong with you, then people do write it off to all kinds of other things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, shoot. And you said that when you were on treatment, your white blood count went so low they had to pull you off. That does happen, and that's what happened to me, if you guys recall, or anyone that's been through all of my videos. They ended up having to lower my dosage. They were going to pull me off, and I fought tooth and nail because I'd come so far.
Yes.
And they were going to pull me off too, and I said no, 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 and they lowered my dosage, and it got me through. It barely got me through. I mean, I was critical every week, but it got me through, and you know, I wish that could have happened for you. But I'm
sure it will. I'm sure it will.
When were you treated? How long ago did they try to treat you?
This was back in 2002.
Okay.
From September, and then I was pulled off in November.
Okay. And you know about the new treatments available?
Yes, it's 3 therapies in one. Yes.
It's 3 therapies.
I read about the side effects, which is scaring me half to death, because at the same time, I mean, I'm very sensitive to synthetic medicine. So, and when I read the side effects and it said the dropping of the white blood cells, it kind of freaked me out. And I went through some of the support groups, and I've heard other people talk about having to get a liver transplant before starting treatment. And I just had to stop and just try to get myself back on, you know, my strength. Because I know I have to do this.
I hear it in your voice. It's scary.
I can't live like this anymore, so I have to. You know, there's no other choice.
I get that.
So treatment is my only answer. It's my only option.
I know.
But with the support of everybody else, thanks to Facebook, you know, there's ways that we can communicate to each other. You know, nobody knows except the people that actually is going through it.
Yes.
What to expect. So just hearing them and maybe putting my fears aside just to hear them out and hear what they did, how they had to combat the side effects. Right. That might help me out, you know.
I would imagine that if they put you back on treatment, they'd probably give you a lower dose, and that would maybe do the trick. You know what I mean? Because they can give people a lower dose, and it doesn't mean it's not going to work. So, so what I'm hearing, I have a lot more reading to do, and things have been really busy. What I'm hearing is that the new treatment, the results are really, really great. That even non-responders are getting up to, we've got an 80% chance of recovery, cure, which I use very lightly now. And it also cuts the treatment time in half. However, I'm also hearing the other side of the coin, that people are even sicker with the third treatment thrown in. And that, and again, I have to say there's more reading to be done before I can really testify to this. But I'm hearing that up to 50% of people being put on it are getting extreme rashes that really affect their life, that have to be pulled off. And there's some other side effects too, I'm not sure, but that's something I'll have to get back to you on. I know that we've had some appointments with some of the reps at Merck and that. I know that here in Canada they're really expediting the and in the United States they're really expediting getting it to market. Whether it's going to be covered or not is another thing. It's extremely expensive.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So even here in Canada, they're saying that pharmacare may not cover it. So we will keep you posted, you guys. I've gotten, and I've gotten a few calls and emails lately. People just being diagnosed. So, you know, I hope you're watching, and we'll keep you posted on all the new outcomes and when it's going to be available. I think that in the United States, they were originally shooting for September. They're trying to expedite that now. And same with Canada. Yeah, because it's getting such a good response rate, and they're able to help more people. So,
I mean, it's not a wonderful experience, but the thing that holds promise for me on this one, because I was, 2 years ago, I would have been like, no, don't even talk to me about treatment. I'm not going back on treatment, because I had a horrific time the first time around. But
I hear that a lot, yeah.
If they can cut the treatment time in half.
That
now,
makes
at 3 months, my doctor prescribed me back in 2002, 6 months treatment. At 3 months, she said I was 90%, almost cured at 3 months. So that holds a lot of weight for me to want to try treatment again.
Yes, because that means you were responding.
Yes.
Yeah, because they really watch you the first 3 months. If you don't respond in the first 3 months, you're going to be pulled off treatment anyway. If you don't respond in the first 3 months, you're not going to respond. You know, and then I've talked to a lot of people out there too that are so desperate to try to get better that they keep going on this treatment.
I think they got to let their body relax.
They got to let their body chill, and maybe the new treatment will work for them. But to keep going back on the old treatment and retrying it, you're just beating a dead horse. It's not, if it doesn't work in the first 3 months, it's not ever going to work. I think you're
just doing more damage to your body, and your body's not able to recover because your back-to-back treatment is just like, you're killing your body.
I agree. So anyway, Amber and I would like to let you know, you guys, we've got to wrap it up here. Everybody get tested, okay?
Yes.
It's not just junkies, it's not just drug addicts that get hepatitis C. If you've been to the dentist, here's another one I never thought of. People that get in fights, people that work in bars, you get in a fight, blood-to-blood contact. Another one I never thought of that came to my attention the other day, C-section.
Yes.
Yeah, C-section. Had a C-section, get tested. Been in a fight, get tested. Had any
Dentistry.
tattoos, get tested. Been to the dentist, get tested. Acupuncture, get tested. I can go on and on and on. And I will be running a campaign. P.S. I'm in the throes of incorporating a new charity. I should be announcing it within the next 3 or 4 months. And I'm really looking forward to that. I have a really great team. And we'll be getting back to you all about that as well. And anybody that wants to join this new charity in any facet, please get a hold of me at petrabilities@aol.com and on Facebook under Petra Hoffman, HOFFMANN. And Amber's on there too. Amber Suka. You can be friends with her as well. Right, Amber?
Correct. It's social networking. I'm available whenever you call.
It's a wonderful thing. And one more thing real quick. I'm trying to get a hold of Steven Tyler, you know, Aerosmith, yes. American Idol, to be the face of hepatitis C. We want you, Steven. If you're watching or anybody that knows how to get a hold of him, I have found his management team through you, but anybody that can get to him quicker, the quicker the better, because we want you, Steven Tyler, to be the face of HepC worldwide. Just like AIDS has faces, we need faces. Right?
Correct, right.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Amber, I thank you so much for taking the time and doing
Thank you so much.
Okay. And have a good day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all your help and all your emails. Ciao now. Now, where's the button?